Howdy folks, Tex Grebner here with Tex Grebner Outdoors, and we're drawing up on archery season 2010 here in Illinois, and I've been getting a lot of questions from some young bucks and some older guys that are just getting into bow hunting. Now let me preface this by saying I'm not an expert deer hunter, I'm not a great deer hunter, I'm not even a good deer hunter, I'm just a fucking deer hunter. And so that's why this is TGO Deer Hunting Wisdom Part 2. So, here we go. I've been getting a lot of questions about what time should you get into the stand, and I'll take that one first. There's 2 times a day to hunt. There is the morning and the afternoon/evening. I like hunting the evening. I don't like hunting the morning as much. Not because I don't like to get up in the morning, I have my reasons for liking the evening, and I'll explain that. So, what time should you get in the stand for a morning hunt? I would say about 2 hours to an hour and a half, maybe even 3 hours before shooting light. And I say that much beforehand because it's night, the deer are probably out in the fields feeding. It also depends on what your stand location is. But the deer are out in the fields feeding at night, and when you get in your stand that far ahead of shooting light, then you give the chance, or you give the woods a chance to settle down. There's nothing worse than fucking up a morning of hunting by getting busted by deer that are going back to their beds to rest. Now, I like the evening hunt better from about 1 o'clock in the afternoon until the end of shooting light, and I like that hunt better because the deer are back in the fucking thickets, way the hell away from my stand. Again, it depends where your stand is located, and be careful of putting a stand too close to their beds, but the deer are back in the fucking thickets, where you can hardly get to them. And so, I like hunting the evening because they're going to come past me to the food, at least in the early season. Because in the early season, they're focused on food and water. There's probably still crops in the field, and so they're going to come past the stand that's in the funnel or the staging area or the saddle, and they're going to come past that from their beds to the food and or water. And so you've got a better chance, in my opinion, of in the early season doing the evening hunt, because they're way away from you and you're not going to spook them, because deer are most active in the early morning, evening, and obviously at night. And so that's what time I would get in the stand for early season. Now we've got the pre-rut and the rut. I equate the pre-rut to the early season in how soon I get into the stand. But the rut, fuck it, bring a sack lunch, hunt all fucking day. If you can do it, hunt all day. Because when Bambi's dad starts chasing mid-November, when the chase hits of the rut, the woods tend to just fucking explode, and deer become ridiculously unpredictable. When you've got a stiff-legged, hard-dick buck coming down the trail chasing mid-November, you don't want to not be in your fucking stand. And so, I like hunting all day, and as it gets colder, the deer are going to become much more active during the daylight hours, just to make it easier on their bodies. Also, I have a stand where there are a bunch of acorn trees. Now that's good and that's bad. There's a soybean field in front of one of my stands that's about, I'd say, a 30-yard shot out of the woods. So we got a soybean field out there, and we got acorns inside the thicket that I got a tree stand up in. Well, that's good and that's bad. Right now, in the early season, they're going to be going to the soybeans. When the soybeans are gone, when the hay is dead, when the corn is picked, then is when the acorns come into play, because just before the pre-rut hits, while the bucks are making rubs and scrapes, before they're thinking about the does too much, the bucks and the does are going to be heading for the food still, and if you've got acorns around, that's where you want to be after the crops are out, because now they need to go back to their natural food source. I've gotten a lot of questions about my cover scent of choice. I like fresh earth, and occasionally I'll use a little bit of fox piss, and I also like acorn scent, which is more of a curiosity scent, but at the same time, because I'm hunting in an acorn thicket, well, it's more of a cover scent than anything, because they already know the acorns are there. So that's all I can think of right now. I'm sure there's going to be more parts in the future. Hope this video has been helpful to all of you out there. Maybe, who knows. As always, God bless all my Ted Nugent blood brothers, the sportsmen of America. Join the NRA to protect our rights. Thank you very much to those of you involved in law enforcement and those of you serving in the military. And thanks for watching Texas Grebner Outdoors.